What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for a classic charts and graphs video. Today we are going to talk about 2021 NFL Prizm. It has been on the market now for a couple weeks, and I wanted to dive in and kind of look to see where the single market's shaking out in regards to silvers, base cards, who's selling for the most, how wax prices are holding up, and just kind of dig in just a little bit. This might be a little quick video. We'll see. But just kind of talk about 2021 Prizm football. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys and girls know the drill. If you haven't watched it yet, go check out the CSG interview from yesterday. Lots of good information in there, whether you use CSG, interested in using CSG or not. Lots of great stuff, good little tidbits in there about them as a company and just grading in general. Let's go ahead and dive into some market movers. Link in the description down below with coupon codes, the whole 9 yards. Some big things coming with market movers in the near future based off what I have heard. Let's go ahead and dive in some Prizm football. So general state of Prizm right now. Hobby boxes are out in full force. Retail is beginning to hit. The pictures are going around the various social medias of full carts of Target and Walmart's filled up with buggies full of Prizm blasters and people being mad in the comments. It is that time of year. Once again, everybody get excited. Target dropped the other day online with Prizm blasters. I personally ended up actually getting some of the Fanatics exclusive Prizm blasters. They do the little lottery thing where you go on. So I actually have 8 Prizm Football Fanatics exclusive blasters coming. They haven't shipped yet, but they should ship soon. And when they do, we will go ahead and light some money on fire on the channel and rip those bad boys and see how bad we get dream crushed. So that's just kind of the state of things right now. And the reason why I wanted to kind of lay that out is because I think the prices that we are about to talk about are not necessarily fully shaken out yet, if that makes sense. Only thing that's been open so far really is hobby boxes. We need to see the retail flood hit the secondary market in regards to singles, not necessarily wax. So we just don't know how this is going to play out yet. I think there's a lot. Obviously, there's way more inventory coming to market. The Target drop, I missed it. I wasn't paying attention that morning, and that's not something I usually pay super close attention to. But from everything that I've heard is those blasters were up for a while. People were speculating, I think maybe 250,000 blasters were sold on Target on Tuesday. That is insane. Absolutely insane if that is true. So this stuff is going to be printed into the ground. If you think this is bad, wait till Prizm basketball gets here. So I'm not putting a lot of stock in these prices. I would not be buying anything unless it's something super cheap like PC, whatever, but anything in high double digits, I would not be touching on, especially on the silver side. Now silvers do seem pretty hard to hit just based off some box breaks that I have watched. And from what I've seen, I don't know what the condition quality is on them yet, but we'll look at it here in a second. If you look at the number of silvers that have sold versus base, it's, astronomically different. Now, I don't necessarily want to put a ton of stock into that because a lot of those silvers are probably on their way to PSA to be graded, to be honest. If you pull a Trevor Lawrence silver, unless it's like way OC or has a major issue, you're probably not selling it on eBay. Though, to be fair, that might be the right call. Like if you pulled a Mac Jones silver Prizm to just sell it raw and be done with it and not play the grading game. If you think it's borderline at all, you're probably going to maximize your value more just selling it now than by the time you get it back at like a PSA 9, if that's the way it comes back. PSA 10, you'll probably still do pretty well on. But let's go ahead and look at some charts and graphs. I got them pulled up already here. First up, let's start with silvers. The leader in the clubhouse is Trevor Lawrence, going for about $500. And I ran this out for the full term. So this is about probably 10 to 12 days worth of data. 14 days worth of data, maybe. I don't know if singles have been up for a full 2 weeks yet, but give or take. That card has basically held. It's up $45 over that time period. Once again, I'm not putting a ton of stock in that, but Trevor Lawrence is the number one seller at 500. Below that, we have Mac Jones at 450, followed by Trey Lance, and then Jamar Chase are your top four, all sitting above $300. The scariest one there is all of them, honestly. Like I said, I don't think any of these prices necessarily hold. If we scroll down just a little bit here, we have Justin Fields actually selling under Jamar Chase. I'm slightly surprised by that, honestly. Davis Mills at 150 might actually be the best deal out of all these. I know actually Zach Wilson at 145 is super surprising, selling for less than Davis Mills is definitely very interesting there. I did not catch that on first glance. Najee Harris at $100 is way too expensive. Micah Parsons, we have Kyle Pitts at 70, Kyle Trask at 65, Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith at 40 and $50 a piece, and then we kind of drop off from there. Once again, the interesting thing here is the number of sales. We only have a dozen Trevor Lawrences that have sold. For comparison purposes, we'll just flip over to base really quickly. 192 base Trevor Lawrences have sold versus only 10 silvers now, or 12 silvers. Once again, I think a lot of this has to go with the fact that people are just unloading the base now because it just makes sense to. These are going to be the all-time highs, most likely, for raw base of this stuff. So just unload it now before all that retail stuff starts hitting. The silvers, people are going to send those in the grade, so I don't think that's an accurate representation of what's being pulled on the silver side of things. I guess let me sort this by number of sales. Okay, Justin Fields is 25, so that one's quite a bit higher, but once again, people are still be sending Justin Fields off for grading, even if it's not for PSA. So I'm not putting too much stock in that number. And like I said, on the base side, things shuffle out a little bit different. Actually, Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence are selling much closer together. Then Trey Lance, then Justin Fields. So you have some division there. Then Jamar Chase, Zach Wilson, Davis Mills. I'm still really surprised, just given the New York factor, that Zach is selling this low. I'm not going to sit here and say like I watched every Jets game or anything like that, but just of the prices, he seems to have the most upside. Now, odds are you'll probably still lose your butt. Don't get me wrong. But that's the one that intrigues me the most, just kind of filtering through this list, just because he is the cheapest out of all of them. That's the only part that's appealing to me, to be quite honest. And I actually do like him a little bit better than Justin Fields. But the fact that he is going for Davis Mills prices does surprise me a little bit. These have obviously come down a lot. You can see initially Trevor Lawrence was going for $125 right out the gate, is already down to $35. That's the big difference here. You know, you see 50, 60, 70% drops in prices on the base quarterbacks. On the silvers, that's not necessarily the case. 10%, 25% down, 12% down, 23% up, 30% down, 50% down, 27% down. So nowhere near as getting hammered on the base side, but I have a feeling that is just all inventory supply oriented. There's just not a lot of supply out there, so it's helping keeping the prices inflated, partially due to just being harder to pull, and also partially due to they are traveling to Southern California or Florida or Texas to be graded depending on your grader of choice. Hobby boxes. What are hobby boxes doing? They are staying firm at about $1,400. This is on the sealed wax section of Market Movers. This is the entire length that hobby boxes have been on the market. So since 5/30, so basically 2 weeks, it's been 15 days. They've essentially stayed flat. They came in at about 13, mid 13s, high 13s, and are currently sitting at 14. So not much, a 1.4% increase. Will be interesting to see what happens now that retail has hit. Up until this point, up until this week, we have not had retail product in the wild. I don't think it hits hobby boxes super hard. I think it does hit the single market pretty hard. The one thing that we didn't discuss, some of the case hits and parallels are still selling for quite a bit of money. The mangas and the color blasts and all that stuff are selling for huge sums of money. The golds, the black finites, all that jazz, still selling for astronomical sums of money. We'll see if that stuff holds. I have a feeling some of those case hit like things will start to come down. And I'll be curious to see what Silvers look like in about 10 days. Not this coming weekly market update, but the following one. I'll be curious on a weekly basis once we get a week's worth of retail in people's hands ripping, how that affects the silver market. And then, once we get some more data out there, we'll start looking at maybe some color match stuff and things like that to see how it's doing as we lead up into the beginning of the season. So, quick little video today. Like I said, that's all I pretty much wanted to touch on. Just take a quick peek at Prizm and see how it's going. Not sure what tomorrow's video is going to be yet. I'm going to put a soft warning out there that Sunday's weekly market update might be later in the day. I don't know yet. Once again, for those that don't know, I'm heading to the Midwest Monster this weekend. It is a Friday-Saturday show with a Friday night trade night. I'm coming home Saturday. I just don't know what time I'm going to get home. And if I get home super late, I might not be able to record until Sunday morning. I have to take my wife to the airport on Sunday morning, so I'll be up early. So there's a good chance I'll still get it cranked out relatively on time, but it might just go up closer to 11 instead of 9 or 10 a.m., just kind of depending on the recording schedule. So just kind of putting that out there. And if you're going to the Midwest Monster, keep an eye out for me. I will be there early Friday afternoon at the trade night Friday night and all day Saturday. I think we're going to have a video talking about shows tomorrow. I've been kind of talking about it all week. I kind of want to talk about it before the Midwest Monster and after the Midwest Monster and kind of see how my thought process changes. So I think that might be tomorrow's video. Just kind of talking about the state of shows and kind of where things could potentially be heading, go a little speculative. So like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff down below, and we will catch you guys and girls on the next one. Good luck hunting retail Prizm out in the wild. Peace.